Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I am excited about today's video because it's a tag video that I came up with on my own. I wanted an excuse to show off some of my favorite books that I own. And the reason I decided to go ahead and turn it into a tag video is because I'm also really excited about seeing some of my friends' bookshelves and kind of getting to know what their favorite books are as well, as far as what they look like and what they collect. One of the only things I love more or as much as reading is buying books and collecting them and owning them. And yes, these are two separate hobbies that have almost nothing to do with each other. So I went ahead and made a list of questions, and I'm excited to go through the list myself to kind of show you some books that I own that I love, but also I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. So I have a list of, I believe, 9 questions that I'm going to ask myself. Our clipboard has gotten some new stickers, so it's looking pretty fly. If you want to know, I have you, David, because Schitt's Creek is just my favorite. I have a Dundie Award that I gave myself. I have Duke Silver, my favorite musician, and I have Treat Yourself because it's my life motto. And there's old inauguration Bernie still hanging out with us. So anyway, I am calling this the Judge a Book by Its Cover Fantasy Book Tag. Now, there's one question that kind of makes this lean towards fantasy books, but honestly, you can do this book tag with any type of book. You may just want to swap out the question and you'll know it when I get there. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. The first question is break the ice. Show us some of your favorite book covers from your collection. So the first thing I want to show you guys are these adorable retro Lord of the Rings books I have. Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I own more copies of this book series than anything else. I think I have 5 or 6 complete series. I love these books and I love collecting them, and there's so many neat editions out there. But these little retro ones, they're not in great condition. These aren't books that I read from. They would fall apart. But I think they have the most adorable covers. So I'll show them to you real quick. They're just absolutely super quirky and quaint, and they're just cute. I just love them. And so I do love thrift shopping and bargain book shopping. And so anytime I'm out and about, I always keep my eyes peeled for these editions because some of mine are a little rough. You'll see that this guy right here is missing his corner. So I'm always looking to upgrade them and have nicer copies. But these, I just really treasure these, especially because I didn't buy them as a set. I did piece them together in thrift stores. So I love this set, and it's nothing special. I probably didn't pay more than $2 for any of these, but I think they're just so cute and I love them. And then I also wanted to show you guys this really cool His Dark Materials set that I have. And what's really cool about this set is that I found them at Goodwill, and paperback adult books at Goodwill are $1.50. So this set right here is so nice, and it is a really, it's a bargain. So you can see that when you have them lined up, they say His Dark Materials. They are just like really textured and nice, and they have these raised gold embossed titles on them. Something I like, and this is like a little thing, but us people, book people, we have our quirks. I like when the page numbers are on the side like this. So yeah, like I'm going to show you one of my biggest pet peeves, and all the book collectors are just going to unanimously give me an amen here. But we have, like, look how nice these look. And we get to the Golden Compass, and it's got a motherfucking fake sticker on it. Ooh, that makes us mad. Like, stickers are bad enough, but at least you can carefully remove stickers. But these printed on fake stickers, ooh, it makes us so mad. Why you gotta do that? No one likes it. Okay, like, we know it's a movie. We know it's soon to be a show on HBO or a major motion picture. Like, you don't have to tell us. But that's not for the that's not for people like us, you know? Like, we know, but the people who are just browsing casually at Barnes & Noble, like, that's going to catch their eye because they want to read the book, because they saw the movie. We don't like that. Us book people, we don't like it. Okay, so the next question, we're just going straight for it. What is the best book cover you own? Like, what is the one that you're like, that's my guy right there. It's a sexy beast. And without question, the sexiest book in my collection is this edition of Dune. Like, this is the most gorgeous book. So the jacket is kind of this metallic, silky, like almost velvety feel. It is absolutely, like, the quality of it is insane. It's raised, it's embossed. It has these edges that, I mean, I am obsessed with those. But like it goes even further than this. So if you carefully remove the dust jacket, there's artwork inside the dust jacket. The book itself, naked, without the jacket, ooh, look at that. Fear is the mind killer. It's got this hot gold spine. I mean, this is a nice book. And then inside, you get more artwork. So, I mean, this is a nice, really nice book. Like, it helps that I read the book and I loved it, but I would be happy to own this even if I didn't like the story. Luckily, I thought it was great, so I'm just really, really proud to have it. I have other copies of Dune, and I think they're cool as well, but I don't think anything beats that cover. It's just too good. And then the next question is, what is the absolute worst cover in your collection? And you guys know how much I love The Wheel of Time, or maybe you don't. If you're new here, I love The Wheel of Time. But there are some really bad covers. Like, it just is what it is. And if you say that the covers aren't bad, then I think you're lying to yourself. But not all of them are bad. Some of them are great. But I gotta show you this one, guys. I whittled it down to Knife of Dreams on principle, because Knife of Dreams is such a good book. There are so many moments from that book that would have made an absolutely incredible cover scene. But instead, they chose this one. Doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. And then on top of it, it's just hilarious. Like, that's supposed to be Perrin, you guys. Like, we're not gonna get in to these characters over here, or this creeper that's lurking behind the curtain. This is a bad cover. So why did you do that? Why did you do that? So this next question is the question that I feel makes this video kind of specific to fantasy. But if you want to do this tag and you don't really read a lot of fantasy, feel free to just swap it out with a question that makes sense for your genre. But the question is, show us your favorite book featuring a weapon. Having a weapon-centric cover is pretty common within fantasy. And so I wanted to start it out with some John Gwynne books, because John Gwynne kills it with the book cover game. And his books from Faithful and the Fallen and Of Blood and Bone, all 7 of them, they're kind of sister series. They all 7 feature weapons on the cover, and they're super cool. So I chose Wrath because it has a warhammer, and I'm just a sucker for warhammers. And then from the Of Blood and Bone series, I chose A Time of Dread because it has a flaming sword on the front, and that's just awesome, right? Another author who does a lot of weapons on his covers is Joe Abercrombie. And so I chose Sharp Ends because all in all, this is just a really sick looking cover. I love this artwork in the background, and the sword on it is cool. And this is a really sharp looking book. So the next question is most unique. So I do have a lot of unique covers. I have some custom dust jackets for my Harry Potter books, for my Wheel of Time books. Those are unique and pretty cool to look at, I think. And of course I have some like Barnes & Noble limited run hardcovers that are really cool. But I decided to talk about these 5 Warrior Angel books by Brian Lee Durfee, The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, because I think these have really unique covers. To the point where I'm not sure if you just glanced at these in the store, you would assume that they were epic fantasy. Is it about a motorcycle gang? Is it sci-fi? I don't know. But they have really cool colors. I love the artwork, and even the font is unique. I just think they're really eye-catching and pretty unique. The next question is, do judge a book by its cover. So what is a book in your collection that you feel like the cover art really conveys the story pretty well? Like someone could walk by, look at the cover, and get a pretty good feel for what the vibe of the book is, just simply by the cover. Like the cover does a good job selling it. I picked a couple for this. Again, my video, I'm just gonna do what I want. The first one is Kings of the Wild. So not only does this have really cool, edgy, rock and roll vibe artwork on it, but it does convey what you are picking up. It has older men on it, like it shows ages on these guys. It shows that they are, you know, a group of fighters. You could assume maybe that they were mercenaries, but it definitely, with the font and the artwork, definitely gives off that kind of gritty rock and roll vibe. And I think if you picked up this book, you would have a pretty good idea exactly what you were getting. The next one, and this cover just blew me away when I saw it. I just love the color on it, and I love the kind of frantic, desperate feel you get when you see it, and it really does come across in the story as well. And that is the UK edition of The Trouble with Peace by Joe Abercrombie. I think this cover is fire. Sorry. No pun intended. This is a good cover, and I feel like if you were just to glance at it, you would get a good feel for what kind of story you were getting based on the cover art alone. And then the last one I picked for this category is Warbreaker. I know a lot of people don't love having people on their covers. Like that's kind of maybe becoming kind of a thing of the past. And I feel like artwork is leaning a lot towards this motif lately, which is beautiful as well. But I do love this cover because I feel like it tells you a lot about the story without telling a lot. So you have the colors, you have the breath, you have the hair, you have the sword. And I love how he carries over that gradient color with these little details. This is a signed copy. Got my little protector on there. There's his signature. Actually, My Trouble with Peace is also autographed, so those are pretty cool and special. But anyway, those are covers that I really like, and I feel like they did a good job conveying what you were getting just by the cover. The next question, let me get my clipboard out here. Okay, the next question is show us a book that you bought simply because the cover was captivating. So a book that you knew nothing about prior to buying it, you just picked it up because you thought it looked cool. I found both of these books at a Goodwill. Again, $1.50 for a paperback. They're really nice trade paperbacks. And this is when I was just kind of starting to build my collection up. Honestly, I've never heard of this author. I've never heard anything about this series ever since. It does have a blurb on the front from George R.R. Martin, but like, what book doesn't have a blurb on the front by George R.R. Martin these days? But I got both of them at Goodwill, and I was like, those are some good looking books. And then I found this one online later because I was a trilogy, and that just seemed kind of weird to not own all of them, even though I don't know what the story is about. And I don't necessarily plan on reading them anytime soon. It just felt weird to have two, knowing that there was a third one out there. So now I have this whole series that I know nothing about. So if you've read it, let me know. Maybe I'll add it to my TBR. So the next question is about embarrassing book covers. So a book that you're not embarrassed that you read, it was a great book, but you might buy it on Kindle so people don't have to see you out and about carrying it around, because the cover just did not live up to the story at all. And I'm sorry if I feel like I'm picking on Wheel of Time, but I just didn't have a lot of other options because I don't like to buy ugly books. And a lot of the books I read either A, have great covers already, or you have options. Like you can buy the UK edition, or they have since done a reprint for a 25th anniversary or something like that. So the books I am going to mention, I couldn't pick between two. I have both Lord of Chaos and The Gathering Storm. So the problem with the Lord of Chaos, loved the book. Had a great time with this book. But who is that? I mean, I know it's supposed to be Rand, but really, why is he like 47? And why does this look like the Fabio shirt? It's a bad cover. And then The Gathering Storm, I just have a lot of issues with this. Like, this is supposed to be Avienda, right? Is that what the Aiel wear? Like, okay. And then, okay, we have this going on. You could have done that better. And I just don't know. Like this perfect hole blown in the wall. I'm not even sure that this type of house is like, makes sense with the story. I don't know. It's a bad cover. And I wish that it was different because that is a really good book. A really good book. Okay, the last question of the day is, do you have any special editions or just special books that you would like to show off? So I do have a few to show you guys. This one is nothing unheard of. You can pick this book up anywhere still. It's pretty common. But if you are a fan of A Song of Ice and Fire, I cannot recommend this enough. This is a fun book to have. First of all, it's really nice. It's like that kind of squishy, pillowy cover. It's really well constructed. It has very nice paper stock, which is something I get a little snobby about. And the artwork inside is just beyond stunning. So much good art. On the back, it says that there's over 170 original art pieces in this book. So I enjoyed reading this from cover to cover. If you are someone who likes lore and history and maps and family trees and all of that kind of stuff, you're going to love this. It's huge, so it's like a good coffee table size if you're into that kind of thing. But definitely pick this up. It's not going to scratch the itch necessarily of continuing the series, but I personally just never get tired of this world, and this is a book I'm just very happy that I own. The next one I show you is somewhat of an anti-recommendation. That's not true. I wouldn't say anti. Anti is a strong word. But I got this 10-year anniversary First Law trilogy set, and I'm a little underwhelmed by it. I mentioned before that I'm kind of a snob about quality and paper stock, and I just wasn't impressed by these. The paper stock is very thin. It almost feels like newsprint. There are no maps in here, no illustrations, no note from the author. The spine itself on mine feels a little cheap, like it might not hold up through a read. So quality-wise, I was a little underwhelmed by these. Also, it's frustrating that they aren't standard size, so they kind of look wonky on any bookshelf. But they have great covers. So here's the cover for the blade itself. It has this nice textured cover. It has really cool metallic, like inlaid print on the front. So there's the blade itself. Here is before they're hanged. And here is Last Argument of Kings. Very cool. Like, that is a cool cover. So I'm definitely not disappointed that I have them. I'm glad to own them. I smile when I see them on my shelf. But they were a little lackluster just for what I was expecting. Now, on the flip side of that coin, let me show you another anniversary edition set that I have that I was blown away by. And that is, ooh, they're heavy. These Robin Hobb Farseer books. So this was for the 25th anniversary limited release. But guys, if you're a fan of Robin Hobb, I cannot recommend these enough. They're still readily available. Go buy them. They're absolutely gorgeous. And the quality and the construction of these is impressive. As opposed to the last one, like the spine feels very sturdy. The paper stock is quite frankly kind of luxurious on these. It feels really nice. And it has illustrations, really beautiful illustrations throughout. Has a nice size font, not too small, not too big. And then of course the covers are really, really cool. So there's Assassin's Apprentice, Royal Assassin, that's upside down. There we go. And then this one just came today, and I let out a whoop when it came, because man, that is a sexy book right there. So this one is Assassin's Quest, also upside down. What am I doing? Look at it, guys. I love the colors of it. I love the tiny details within the print. I just love how it's metallic and matte. That is a good looking book. So I have been blown away by these. If you're a Robin Hobb fan, you need to buy them. You will not be disappointed in them at all. So that is the end of my questions. I hope this was fun. I hope you got to see a little bit of, you know, what my preferences are and things that I like and things that maybe I try to avoid when I'm picking books out. I am going to tag some friends. I'm going to tag Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations and Jolien from Jolien Reads, because they both have beautiful book collections and I would love to take a closer peek at some of their favorites. And I'm also going to tag Mike at Mike's Book Reviews, because we were just talking the other day about how he's never done a tag video, and I figured this one might be a perfect start because he has an awesome book collection, and who doesn't like showing off some of their favorite books? So thank you guys for watching, and let me know in the comments what are some awful books you own or some favorite books you own. Let me know and I'll Google the covers. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you had fun.